only ones right now. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. In the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha most excellent. I take refuge until enlightenment is reached. By the merit of generosity and other good deeds, may I attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Sangye Chodan Soji Chonan La Changju Bardu Dani Gyabsu Chi Dagi Jin Soji Pe Sonam Drola Penchir Sangye Drubarsho. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. May all mother sentient beings, boundless as the sky, have happiness and the causes of happiness. May they be liberated from suffering and the causes of suffering. May they never be separated from the happiness that is free from sorrow. May they rest in equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. Manam kadam yambe samjam tam she dewa dan deve jordan dembo jorche Dunyadan dunagi judan jawar jorche Dunyame pe dewa dan midrawar jorche May ring jantan nidan tawe tanam la nepal jorchi. Simje tamje lo juzon do sinje lo do so chunam do sinje lo do so nam de ba so sinje lo do Tuna ishi za jora si jala da so sa sa jaji ba jora mudo da ba sin jala da so shawa kundo ya da lamat Dharmi je je pala long je je sada lam je yan di rab zo ne ador je change kwa ba nyo do sho janju sim jo rambo che ma je manam di jire Jiva nyamba me bhaya gone gonda bewa sha. So we were just talking about the sadhana, as earlier I mentioned. The ordinary sadhanas are supposed to be the basis of the Vajrayana teaching. For yogas of Tantra. Most of the sadhana sometimes basis of the Kriya Yoga Tantra, Charya Yoga Tantra, Anu Yoga Tantra, Maha Anu Yoga Tantra, whatever the tantras there, and
So according to that, then sadhana is supposed to write it about any deity yoga practice supposed to be. And sometimes for my limitation understanding, the most of the time, Kriya Yoga, Charya Yoga, Anu Yoga, there comes together all the mix up together all the sadhanas according to the sadhanas. And then Anu Yoga Tantras, sadhanas, and it has its own way of writing, way of the sadhanas. And then in the Vajrayana, actually, the sadhanas are also the depends on the new Vajrayana tradition and old Vajrayana tradition. New Vajrayana tradition of the Kajupa, Sakyapa, Gelupa, so that's way to those sadhanas, basis of their mostly the Kriya, Charya, and Yoga Tantras, and then more the old tradition like in Nyingmapas, which call they have most of the time sadhanas are based of the Anu Yoga Tantras, Mahayoga, whatever they call it, yoga different in a Nyingma tradition, they have their own way. But generally speaking, in the sadhana, of course, many practices sadhana, you look at the sadhana beginning, of course, always refuge, motivation, prayer, bodhicittas, this always there, has to be. Then after that, the old sadhana is, generally speaking, in the sadhana comes first the generation stage for self. Either way self meditation, either way meditation generation stage of the in front you or in front of the altar. So those kind of first in a sadhana usually write about that. Then after that, what happens is after that generation stage done, then after that the wisdom part of the deity invoking deity. Generation stage is oneself as a meditating as a deity. Now oneself is called the Samaya being, right? We call the Samaya being as a practitioner beings. But the actual wisdom is another sadhana after that. Then actual through the sadhana says, now invoking the wisdom beings and dissolving into the Samaya beings together, that's kind of sadhana together. So after that, dissolving Samaya, the wisdom beings into the Samaya beings, then what happens after that? Then in the sadhana, most of the time comes to the lots of offering comes.
That's what?
Offerings. Offering is the first offering is not like a blessing of the offering. This offering has many different offerings there. First blessing of the offering means the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, or enlightened beings, they are, like for example, it says prayer in Om Banzer Argam Ahum, like that, right? So what this means, Om Banzers, Om is the beginning of the mantras, right? Usually starting from the syllable Om. Om. right? Or Bajras, Argam Ahong, offering for the waters, or drinking water, or the offering waters, after the Argam Ahong. Then see, first letter Ak, Om comes early. Then letter end is the Ahong there, right? So therefore, Om Ahong, two letter, the invoking through the Buddha's the body, speech, mind, which we have an offering, we will bless them, everything's. Consecrate them, everything's. So that kind of offering comes like that. Then there is a many, like in the Vajrayana, liberation of very liberate offerings are first outer offerings, then inner offerings, then the secret offerings, then Tekona offerings called the real, the ultimate nature of the offerings. There's so many other offerings comes in the Vajrayana generally. Most of the short sadhanas are very, very short. They are not much elaborate. And big elaborations, very good offerings there. Then offering called the mantra offerings there. Then the letter offering of the like, including 7 limb prayers, including the different offerings there, written on the tags. After the offerings, what comes, then it's all the praise there. A lot of praise for the deity, whoever it is, they are talking about their qualities and so forth, So after that, all the praise, the offerings is done. Then it comes to the actual, the practice of the mantras there. Mantra visualization, it comes there. Mantra visualization and the sadhana. So depends on the mantra visualization, how clear and how detailed the mantra reciting the prayers there, for 100 times, 1,000 times recite. After mantra recitation done, then maybe sometimes lots of after that, lots of different types of confession prayers is possible, or confession prayers. Then there is, after that, then the dissolution prayers, different dissolution prayer of the deity comes. The end, then dedication prayers. So like that. Sometimes it's what is it says in the Vajrayana, the sadhana, first invoking wisdom beings close to you, Bandra Samanjas, that sometimes you say sometimes, So that means Bandra Samanjas means wisdom beings and the Samaya beings come close together. Then Za, Hum, Spam, Oh. So that is the more the now Za is comes invoking wisdom beings close to you. Hum is which wisdom being invoking and enter into the Samaya, melt union, become a one Samaya, Hum. The palm is the means, what it means, then inseparably union, much more strong, so therefore, sometimes there is a za, hong, pam, ho, and you heard the mantras there. So that is the 4 special deity. Special 4 deities, the syllable is the first deity syllable is the za, second syllable deity is the pa, za, hung, third is the pam, and the last one is the ho syllable. So 3 deities. three deities actually the represents of the invoking wisdom beings actually, So therefore, called the first is called the Chakchu, the how to say the not the last of the hook. Hook first hook Chakchu. Za Chakchu. Shakpa. The second one is Lasos. Lasos. Second one. Za Hung. Hung is represent the Shakpa. Chados is the how to say chains. Yeah.
Is that
Chains.
this?
Usually Chachu Shakpa
Left hand.
Chados.
Right hand in front of the left hand.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a chain.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
That's
Then
bomb.
third one is Pam, that's right. Pam. Last one is Ho. Trio, the bell.
A bell.
Yes.
Jubilation.
That's like this.
Right.
Yes. Knuckles to knuckles.
Knuckles to knuckles. Okay. Oh.
Oh, that means really bind it to one.
Okay.
Samaya beings and wisdom beings is strongly connected. So that's the mantras there. Actually, you may many times is there. Those all the actually the represents of the deity. Actually, it's not the syllable is the deity. Each deity has its own different colors there. Actually, Also those. So that is the generally about the sadhana supposed to be all full sadhana supposed to be like that way, complete. Sometimes they do very short because of the the just for purpose of short practices, sadhana, very, very short. But the longer ones, it's very liberated like that way. So then according to the all this generally idea is the same, all the yogas generally, but then each has its own ways actually, certain mantras, certain prayers there, so that is I thought it's important to the according to the sadhana where they write, sometimes the sadhana is just kind of prayers, just praise to the deities or just like that, there's no composed by all the yoga systems, there's no yoga systems actually. So okay, so that's also the same thing. Actually, every liberation Vajrayana teaching sadhanas is the same. You go with the largest one, Vajrayana, like a Chakasamvara sadhanas, the long one. It goes same idea. There goes everything's, but it's very wonderful. It has its own special meaning there. Actually, each has their own. So that is very important in the sadhanas. So now it's the most practice part. Actually, I like to share 3 words. Oh, of course, Achi is first sadhana, reciting prayer. There's no doubt, very important for the beginner practitioners, no doubt, But Achi is the most important part. Is Achi is not just Achi. Achi is inseparable of the everything. Achi is Guru, root, lineage, masters. Achi is Yedam, Chakasamvara, Vajayoginis, and so forth, inseparable. Achi is all the Dragas, Drakinis, Dharma protectors. That is we supposed to know, very important, So there is also including in the Vajrayana 3 root, Lama, Yedam, Khando, right? Guru, Lama, deity practice, and Dakini practice, the Daka, Dakini, Dharma protectors, they are there. And what's usually what we say in the Sutrayana, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Buddha represents the Guru, Dharma, the Yidam, Dharma protector, the Sanghas. So therefore, Achi must see as not just Achi practice. Achi is inseparable of Yidam. Yidam, whatever Yidam practice we do, even you doing like a medicine Buddha, must see Achi is inseparable of medicine Buddhas. So that is very important. That is whole about the actually Guru Yoga practice actually. That's what the emphasizing Guru Yoga practice is how important and how essence of the practice of the Guru Yoga in order to realization, so therefore it's very important. When we practice Guru Yoga, it's not just Guru. Guru is the Buddha, Guru is the Dharma, Guru is the Sangha. Then another way, Guru Yoga, like for example, Lord Jiti Sumgu, Guru, and Lord Jiti Sumgu is also inseparable of the deity of the Chakasamvara Vajrayogini. Lord Jiti Sumgu is inseparable of the Dakini of the Achi or Mahakala, whatever protectors practices we do is inseparable, So therefore, must see when the Guru practice time, not just only Guru. Guru practice including everything. Guru is the Dharma, Guru is the Buddha, Guru is the Sangha, Guru is the Lama, Guru is the Yedam, all the deity practice. Guru is all the Dharma protectors, Dakinis, including there. Also, that is very important for as a practice point of view. It is sometimes you may heard about a lot of story there. Long time back, I don't remember clear story. There was one in when Tibet king invited Atishas into Tibet for the teachings and the practices and so forth. Then Atisha met same time at that time, there was Tibetan, there's a couple of practitioners, very highly realizing beings, practitioner there, highly scholars and there. When Atisha met those masters, then Atisha asked these people, why you ask me to come in Tibet? You don't need it me, you have everyone is here. Very scholar and the teachings and the practices there. So then Atisha had a kind of more detailed discussion about them, Dharma, about more inner Dharma practice and so forth. So then later on, Atisha says, yeah, now I understand why you asked me to come. So therefore, Atisha said, there's missing something. The missing is Atisha asked a couple of questions for those practitioners or those meditators. Those are the scholar. It says, how you practice? How you practice the Dharma, Guru Yoga? How you practice the deity yoga? How you practice the Dharma protectors, including everything, How you do practice, Then there's the question, the answer there says, yeah, we take practice according to their own text. Whatever the traditional, according to the text and according to the belief and the views, and then we practice that way. So then Atisha says, yes, this is right, but there's a missing real one. Atisha asks, how you practice everything is one. So then they could not answer it. They say everything has to be practiced separable. Guru yoga somewhere, deity practice somewhere. According to this, as a part of meditation training, we have to practice that. There's no doubt. But the actual practice, the real essence of the practices, you cannot separate that. You cannot see as a separation. Guru is somewhere, only Lord Jiti Sungwon, Yidam is only Vajrayogini or Chakasamvara, or Dharma protector is only Achi or Mahakala. No. Adisha says no. Everything, essence is one. That is supposed to, when we practice Achi, we are visualizing Achi, but Achi, the essence of the Achi is inseparable of Guru, Chakasamvara, Yedams, Dharma protectors, Buddha, Dharma, Sanghas, and so forth. So that is supposed to actually, I'm talking about the practice point of view. It's very important, Oh. Oh. Yes.
The realization that I've had is that what you just said, the inseparability of all that, is really describing how we hold that within ourselves. This is the Vajra essence. And we hold that within ourselves. And coming to realize that, coming to awaken to that, is part of the enlightenment, the liberation. That it's not separate from us. It's always been with us. Whatever form we are, whatever form we see, all this relative is as the absolute and so on. And it's the Vajra holder, it's the notion or it's the explanation of the Vajra holder that all this is within ourselves.
Within ourselves.
I got to use words, I'm sorry.
You'd say ourselves are in it.
It is inseparable.
Yeah, this according to the teaching, of course, it says everything is in this body, speech, mind, the essence of in ourselves, which we're talking about. Actually, the body is talking about the really subtle body. The subtle body is what? For my understanding, subtle body is, according to, if I'm not wrong, the Milarepa said, the subtle body is like a rainbow body. There are no such things exist something there. But it is like a rainbow, beautiful. It is. But a very subtle level. I think I think for my limitation, but it's possible to be recognized that practice time, when we have a set self-generation, self-generation time. We visualize, like, for example, for Achi, you know. First is we have to visualizing those everything's form of Achi, you know. Oh, white color, or second row, three eyes, right hand holding mirror, left hand kapalas, all the jewels. That's very important, you know. Then goes after that, then subtle become just visualizing as like really rainbow body as possible, you know, not like a flash one. And then it's possible to experience it, you know, really, really possible. Also, but the subtle bodies, these subtle speech. And for example, a subtle body is represent of the subtle body is usually we call the channel is the subtle body. For example, subtle body represent. Then the subtle speech is the wind energy, the breathing. Like for example, for the breathing, for example, no, the energy of the breathing, energy of the wind. That is the subtle energy of the speech. Or then the mind is subtle mind is the energy of the drop, is the subtle energy. Our red and white drops in the human beings, we have, you know, every living being has that energy. Very subtle levels, they're very subtle there. Which compose every energy is there, very tiny, you know. So that is the energy of the subtle energy of the mind. So these things are realizing. So then I think the ordinary, all the subtle energy then moves, then they manifest in this grossal of the body, grossal of the sound, including like a subtle sound. The body means every form, right? Every forms, external, internal form of the statue, form of the you and the me, form of the car, or the house, everything, trees, every form, you know, all the appearances, the grosser form. The energy comes from the subtle body, actually. The speech, as Ali said, speech energy, subtle is the wind energy, the breathing energy. So the breathing energy is what? All the wind, including all the sound. Sound is one of the wind energy. Every sound of external, from environment, every sound, external, internal, our sounds, you know, lots of subtle talking in the brain, things, you know. So those are the subtle energy, come from the subtle energy of the wind energy. So therefore, it is very clear, it is very says, you know, the meditators, the most difficult for the meditator is the sound. We are so sensitive with the sound. If the person meditator is no longer have a difficulty for the sound, outer sound, inner sound, they can still remain meditation wherever they are, however they do, you know. And that's called a really good practice done, not so proud. Otherwise, meditator, you especially see the certain times challenge we do, you know. Each time which we meditate, each time we hear sound, immediately the distracts there, you know. distracts that sounds right away, disturbs the concentrations, So I think that is the sound energy, very, very powerful, the subtle energy. The subtle energy of the mind is, I'll say, the example for the Tibetan called the tigle, right? And the drop, the energy of the drop, it creates all the thoughts, all the grosser thought and subtle thought, this thought and that thought. I think it's actually originally come from the subtle thoughts. So therefore, what we're talking about here, the practice of the meditation of the form of Achi, I think so, not just Achi, every deity yoga is the essence is the same. So therefore, as a basic fundamental is everything is there. It rises from there, everything as a Mahamudra point of view, everything that rises from the energy of the mind, energy of the tigle, the drop that rises from there, all the essence ones.
If I say what my body truly is the subtle body, like the deity.
That's what they said. The quality of the deity is there. So therefore, deity is not outer deity. So when we practice, of course, there's certain yoga practice. There are some object and inner. I think that's what the really in a Vajrayana skillful way methods. Then the girls come to the more subtle in oneself, self deity. More practice we do. So that is the deity yoga practice.
Okay, Lama, you mentioned the channels, wings, and drops, but you didn't say anything about the chakras.
Okay.
What did the chakras? What are the chakras and what do they do?
Okay. The chakras is the part of the practice of the channel, right? The main channel is the central channel, right? And then for the central channel is then second channel is the right and the left channel according to the teachings. And then that all the energy of the channels there, the main channels are the crown chakras, and then throat chakras, and then the heart chakras, then the navel chakras, then the secret chakras. So that's usually crown, throat, heart, navels. Usually called sometimes. It depends on the tantric teachings, practices. Sometimes they mention more only for the four chakras. Sometimes they mention fifth chakra. Fifth chakra is secret chakra. That's the fifth one. Sometimes they mention the Kala chakra and so forth, and six chakras. Six chakra mentioned about the secret chakras. That's called the sixth one, which is actually remains in the crown, throat, heart, navel, cigarette, and then the cigarette more, always. So therefore, those are the essence of the reason they actually, according to the chakras point of view, is, as a Bani actually point out there, which is the five chakra is actually the five essence of the wind energy. Wind has five energies there, wind energy, five wind. which is called sometimes lower wind, which wind moves downward. It's called the downward winds, you know. 투스레질롱. So then, 투스레 남켈롱. If I remember it, I don't know exactly. The downward moving wind is energy of the cigarette wind, which is represents of the space energy, actually. Element is the space. Then the navel chakra, the wind is the, if I'm not wrong now, the Menyam the earth wind energy, earth energy here in a navel. Then the heart, where is the Menyam Re Namga Sa Chu, I think so. The heart is the water energy, water element. May the fire element at the throat. Lung, the wind energy, wind element. Or according to the 6 yoga dharupas, my understanding is that way. This is what the 5 chakras, 5 chakras are relation with the 5 elements, 5 elements relation with the 5 wind energies, 5 wind energy. That 5 wind energies become really recognize everything, then realizing 5 Buddha. 5 Buddha realizing is the 5 wisdom. Then we do not realizing 5 chakras and then the 5 emotions. Ignorance, aversions, jealous, pride, attachments, ignorance, attachment, aversion, ignorance, pride, and jealous, right? That's what the 5 elements. So that is actually then ordinary becoming. So that's for the working with the 5 elements and the 5 wind.
Are the chakras formed from knots in the channels? Like they get knotted together, those places entangled together?
Well, that's each lineage, each has its own really different way they explain certain times knots of how they visualize, But according to the Digunkaji, it was very simple actually, very simple. The second center channel is this like this one, like this.
Yes.
And the right and the left, just very simple here, is move directly reaching into the below the navel chakra, Then each chakras are connected with the inner center channel, like each first chakra like that, and the center channel is like this. It just hold like that, just like that, for kind of what you call it, like this way, holding like that. Then nadis, then that pore moves into the, like a, let me see, 46 in the navel. No, for 64 in the navel, and and the crown is a 32, throat is a 16, heart is the 8, and the navel is the 64, and then secret chakra is the 32, and then secret chakra is sometimes 8. It's a different things there.
When they say like 8 petals or 32 petals,
Yes.
that mean 8 nadis?
Right,
or
right.
32
It's like this
nadis?
way. Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Thank you.
like, yeah. So that's what they supposed to be visualized and clear. So no practice time. I'm supposed to know, but I, yeah. So therefore, the 5 wind energy, which is 5 channels, 5 chakras. Oh, that's supposed to. When I try to my practice time is for example, for Lord Jiti Sumbu says, first meditate body empty, completely as a form of rainbow, completely form of empty rainbow, where body totally visualize. So then visualizing the center channel, then right, then left, then chakras, 5 chakras and 4 chakras or whatever it is according to the teachings, or visualizing, or that is the essence of the the body is visualizing as a rainbow, the practice of the body energies. Then after the body visualizing channel, that is the subtle form of the speech energy, right? The channels and the chakras, right? Then top of that, then this the visualizing the tigless drop, and tigle has a different visualization actually. The very simple tigle is first syllable ha here in the third and the crown chakra, which is really down, and then red tigle, white tigle, the crown, red tigle is just underneath the below before the navel chakras. Very simple way, put that way. And like a little bit complicated way, then they put syllable home in the crown chakra facing down, syllable ah at the throat. This all has to be in the center chakra. Ah at the om at the throat, hum at the heart, downward. Then below the navel or the center of the navel, visualizing the syllable syllable actually and it has a circle on the top. That's supposed to be. That is the one way. Second way to visualization of the Tigle practice time, And then sometimes Tigle practice directly visualizing in the third eye here. The center channel is one more direct to the third eye. In the center of the third eye, visualizing the drop the seed syllable, seed, some kind of seed, little bit their seed around there. And visualize their white seed, their energies, Then the red energy is the same and below the navel one. So then they practice kind of, also. So those are the Tsa Lung Tile channel wind drops, very simple practice. I try to do, but I'm not really great. I'm here, cannot speak with you by heart. I have to look at the text. And I have to look at the text, then it doesn't work. I have to from the heart, I have to say how you visualize it, Oh, it's nice to, yeah. Here, the lens board is the same thing, like, oh, this has to be up, this is down, this is up. Like same thing. This is has to go downward. You like here, hung, all that. On, hung down, it's up there. Here. It's actually That's it, yeah. Very good. So that is the channel wind drops, the essence of the visualization.
Lama Gursam, at the dissolution and death and so forth, does the red drop arise first to the heart and then the white drop second for the white horizon? Or is it sometimes interchanged?
Well, that is depends on the practice time. When we practice, first visualize, for example, for practice first, visualization first, very important. Sometimes we teach so rush for that, No, rushing doesn't work that way. First, really visualizing that syllable, the red fire, syllable syllable home, syllable things. Visualize it until you really see it. Your mind can see it. Your body can experience it. You feel all the senses to see it. Then after that, see, hung is here, right? Which is represented the white tile, right? Red is here, right? Red, white tile and the red tile here. So it depends on how you go. Sometimes you go beginning time, this white red energy, that fire, flame moves gradually slow. One breathing time actually. Slowly move here all the way reaching to the white energy. Here, reach there. Then without moving the white energy, just leave energy. Then the red energy move back to the again, to the there, and practice again. Then again, like that. Then sometimes, then the white and the red merge together. And then, here, merging here.
Okay.
Start here, right?
Mhm.
Then merging goes to the here, at the throat. Then, if you are really good practice, you can still move down. If not, just here, and then white let go up, red goes down, and relax again. And become a more and more practice. Then here to here to here, here. Everything's one time. All the way down to there. Then move back. That is called the practice of four joys, right? Joy, right? Gawa, great joy, choga, and special joy at the heart, Cheparji Gawa, co-emergent joy, Hinjikjiba Gawas, four Gawas, Four Gawas goes back and forth, practice that.
Back and forth, up and down.
Yeah. So therefore, the Jagat is actually the whole idea. Jagat is emphasized about the bliss nature. Most of the time, practice that. Jagat is. So Jagat Vaja Yogini practice is the most of the time blissful practice, to practice based on bliss, And the practice of Heart Sutra is based on emptiness, talking about. So it's can separate, but it is. So
is it, I thought that, well, there's two ideas that I was familiar with, I might have it wrong. Is that the red drop, the fire would rise and melt the drop, and then the white would descend. And as it descended, each chakra would cause one of the joys. And then you're saying come back up and back and forth.
yes,
Okay.
that goes too.
And
Yeah.
at the time of death, do they meet at the heart?
Time of the dead, that's what they say. Yeah.
Okay.
That's called the father's energy come in the heart, mother's energy into the heart, merging together. Then from there, the consciousness move on. Six Pardo says that, right?
Okay.
So that is a subtle in the wind energy actually, talking about. The most important part of practice time, nothing have to be rushed at all. First few weeks, really just rainbow body practice, just visualizing again. Nothing else, to really look at them. Then maybe few weeks after that, only the center channel, nothing else to worry about it. Quality of the center channel to look at there. You can, and I'm not experienced, but sometimes you can feel it, you can experience, something's energy moving there, the center channel for a few weeks. And the right and the left, maybe one more week again, couple times. That couple weeks that. Then couple weeks for the chakras, just only the fourth chakra.
So be patient.
Oh yeah,
go slow.
right. To really understand, to get in the mind, rather than in the text anymore. No, text doesn't work that way. So that's why in that all traditional Tibetan or yoga tradition, they're not allowed to take any note. When the first they teach, right? Of course they take a note and write everything down, right? Once you're done not to learn, then you learn already. Now it's time to. That's what the person teacher to the student together, right? That says, okay, now meditate. Then you meditate again. Then the student says, oh, understood. Then has to go few months practice, then come back to the teacher and talk about again how you understand. I think so. I'm not experienced at all, but I'm really enjoy that really much, really practice, really channel when this. Then of course, once you channel wind chakras every day, then you practice the wind energy, breathing, different types of breathing practice again with that, or try to be moved that impossible. The energy breathe in. Try to move as possible to first maybe pretending, it's okay, that's the way it is. Again and again practicing, comes the real energy, Like the visualization, it's the same thing. You just have to visualizing, I am Achi, but it doesn't matter. Then you copy again, reciting mantras and praying again and again. Then you really, after that, feel it, to experience. So that's a deity yoga. The wind energy, the breathing practices, different types of breathing. There's many different types of breathing, but few of them is really necessary. All to learn is wonderful. There's nothing wrong. But in order to practice point of view, no need to too much learn. And according to the teaching, other explain to other students different way. Then we needed a lot of things. We have to open a lot of books too. That's why I do. Sometimes I usually I don't personally I don't need a lot of book to read. And in order to explain to the students something, then it's needed. So other books to explain, right? So something is nice. That's the way it is, the education way, right? So that's about the break. I think so all the channel wind drops again. Like this, So especially this, at least have to understanding this 5 winds, how they works, the names of the winds, the elements. That is at least have to know that. At least have to mind should know that, Then of course there behind them many other message, knowledge is there, which is wonderful to know. But the practice point of view, not necessary too much there. But at least this, earth elements, water elements, fire elements, wind elements, then the space elements, all of those are you have to notice at least how or according to the 5 Buddhas, all that is in the 5 wisdoms, those are necessary, So therefore, what I'm trying to say is everything going back to the really subtle, and the subtle body, and the subtle wind energy, subtle in the drop energy. Then they can become there's no separable subtle wind energy and the drop energy and the body energy, subtle energy is no separable at all. Each of them is too connected. Then everything subtle more become just wind. That's what the wind energy. The breathing is how important it is. Subtle wind energy, then very, very subtle is then the tigla, after that. Then the tigla, the most, we call the tigla. One and another way of saying is the consciousness, right? Real, the original mind, the primordial wisdom one. So that is kind of continue moving into the next. So that's what sometimes in the Mahamudra point of view or Dzogchen Shenpo point of view, it says, right? Kundu Zangbo. Kundu Zangbo means what?
All good.
All good, always good. Original one is always this there. Everything is come from the original one, the primordial one. So that is the Kundu Zangbo is actually the basic fundamental of Rigpa, right? The basic fundamental of Mahamudra. That's what it says, same thing. Same thing, Mahamudra, basic mind. This kind of generation stage, meditation, kind of completion stage, and calm abiding, insight meditation, vipassana, this is all the path, right? Path of the meditation, path of the Mahamudra, or path of the Dzogchen, whatever we call it. The fundamental nature, the fruition is the same. That's why sometimes teacher, some of I heard teacher, they believe Dzogchen and the Mahamudra is the same. What this means is the essence is the same. That's what my understanding. Therefore, they say it's the same. Fundamental, the result, reaching to the enlightenment state, same. But, and the Dzogchen has its own style, different way to do it. Yes, they have a wonderful so many in the Dzogchen style, there are wonderful teachings there, as well as Mahamudra has that techniques different ways, certain techniques are slightly kind of common, certain are not common. It's uncommon practices, different way they do, different way they explain, different ways, right? That is possible. That's why one of my wonderful master, I was thankful he's teaching this. His Eminence Sanjay Nyemba taught about the Mahamudra and Dzogchen time. I think he always says that. That's what he means that. That means, I think so. So that is the inner deity yoga practice, right? That's all the visualization. And the reality life, I believe, is very, very healthy. Practice this one. Really. It's very good for the inner exercise, inner body exercise, what I may call it. Inside the body, really. Of course, we do exercise, different things, everything. Also the outer body experience, Inner these things, exercising this channel wind practice is very powerful. Not enough, I tried, I needed a little more practice continue,
Ask about the 5 winds, just for knowledge
Sure.
sake. Yeah. I know there's a downward voiding wind, and there's the all-pervasive wind.
Right.
Is there also an upward?
That's right.
So that's 3. What are the other?
Yes, the if I remember the English words. Okay, that go to English version. I don't know, I think so. Go on.
Lama Gursam gave a really good talk on that on July 21st, 2018. And I've got notes here, and I think that Bernie probably had really good notes and posted that to what used to be the Medicine Buddha Sangha website. I don't know where it is now, but I've got it here. And if you wanted to read it, study it.
Sure.
I mean, it was very good, the teachings that he gave that particular weekend.
No, I don't know where's my notes. I have my practice note here, few lines. I always recite the prayer. I don't have it this time. Because one time what happens, my text is, I put somewhere, the wind comes all blue there. So it's gone maybe.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe there. I think so, let me see this way. Yeah. Tusir Namgilong is called the downward moving wind, which is a space element. Tusir Namgilong. Chenju Meyalong and upper body moving wind, which is sort of the fire wind. No, fire wind. Oh, Chenju Meyalong. Menyam Sayalong, the earth element. Digestion, Sayalong, which is in the navel. Fire is here, which might have not wrong in the throat. The space is in the lower part of the cigarette chakra. Chabje long, pervasive wind. Pervasive wind means that is actually, according to the yoga, we said pervasive wind is more in the crown chakra. But that pervasive means it wind has every part of the body actually. Connect to every part. That's what for the pervasive, every part of the body. So I got the 4?
It's 4, yeah.
Okay.
Life sustaining.
Oh, life protect wind. That's what called it.
Ah,
Sonjing Chui Long. I think so. Water element. White life protecting wind at the heart chakra.
okay. What does that wind do? The light
Uh,
protector wind.
the kind of energy the holds. I think so. That's called the life protecting. Sonjing. Life holding kind
Kind of holds it
of holding
together.
the energy. No.
Your life.
Oh, okay, like
Yeah.
life force kind of?
Right.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
So that's according to the Vajrayana energy when we are the moving in this life into the next life, everything comes here, right? That's what they say. All the energy move here. Rest of energy is no longer working. Every energy, upper part moves here, lower part moves here. Then the heart is only working. That comes somehow.
So
energy.
someone in Tuktam has that wind there.
That's
in
right.
Tuktam, and then when that dissipates,
Yes.
then they're.
Yeah. Right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Sonjing Chui Long. That's the water element. And the heart. So that is going back to the 5 element and the 5 Buddha family. And one of the, I don't know how, I didn't read the book. There's one book about it. I think many of you, I don't know how clear it is. They say maybe some wonderful teaching there, according to the Dzogchen Chamber style, system. The Dzogchen Chamber's father, what is it? Tilen Norwu. Dzogchen Chamber's father, Tilen Norwu
Oh,
wrote
Chili Norbu, yeah.
book
yeah.
one about the element book. There's one book that says
Okay.
this is which could be very interesting.
Okay, I'll jump in.
Might be white sail.
Huh?
White sail.
That's
Is that the one?
I read that book so long ago. I can't remember
Or
much
magic
about it.
dance? That's the Tahiti one.
Can't remember what's in it.
I know Magic Dance is about the Keenies.
Yeah, it's Dzogchen Tilen Norwu.
I think White
Yeah.
Sails is about the 5 elements in their sacred character.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Go with that down.
If I remember correctly, I read it 35 years ago. So
Dig deep, Bernie.
uh,
Dig deep.
since I've forgotten everything.
usually those teachings are very hard to find. There's Vajrayana teachings, little bit here, little bit there. Like for example, for 5 Buddha families teaching, little bit here, little bit there. So it's kind of hard to collect those everything put together. Sometimes it's the 5 winds and energies they want. So could be that's Tilano, which my understanding this is English there.
Vince, is that talk you were referring to? Is that something you could email?
Well, if it's anywhere, it's on my computer somewhere, but I've got so much, I have no idea where it is. I have to search for it.
Well, I got my notes. I can send you. These might have even come from Bernie's notes, the condensation, or it was my notes. I don't remember, but I just looked it up, and it was indeed Lama Gursam that weekend. And I didn't know whether it was here. It could have been at Dharmasurya Center because you came there a few times too.
One time we did talk.
So it
right?
could have been there. I'll have to go back into the flyers and see where that was.
Okay.
So I can send this to you.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, appreciate it. That's great stuff. Something to look forward to. I look forward to doing such practice. I'm just preparing now.
Yeah.
I look forward to it.
Mm.
Yeah, my notes say on 7/16/2018, Lama Gursam was here at Lance's house, giving us the 37 practices of Bodhisattvas. That was on the 16th.
Okay.
I didn't know you kept such detailed notes.
No, I haven't. This is my book, Who I Saw, When, Where.
That's amazing.
What
Yeah.
little notes I took.
That's neat.
It's kind of interesting. Yeah.
I had a discussion with the 37 practice with some group, few people. It's not just my talk. It's everybody's have their own thoughts about it. How to say each 4 lines, each person's. We read 4 line every day, and I give my thoughts first, and then we have 4 or 5 people, and they give their own. It's 1 hour. It's recorded actually. I don't know how come good or not. That is a nice way to really study, particularly for the. I don't know how good with it. It's also good for the newcomer too, but it's everybody. Then which is I'm going to do this Longchenpa's text together. So it's not just my talk, let me share my thoughts first, and then everybody can share their own understanding about thought and bring into the reality life how we can use that.
What is the topic of the test?
It's a mind training text.
Oh, okay.
Longchenpa is such a Dzogchen feature that it has that sense to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Should we take a
One of my
break?
book clubs were about
Yes.
to start
Take a
Lojong
break?
book written by
Sure.
Serenade.
Yep.
I don't remember his name. I think it's Lama. Wrote what's it called? It escapes my mind right now, but it's a Lojong book. Developing Bodhicitta or something like that. And it's all about the 7-point mind training. And so
Mm.
forth. So this sounds similar.
Yeah, this is a text originally composed by Longchenpa. That text was composed by Atisha, the 70 points in mind training. We haven't really dove into it yet, so I don't know the details of what it's about.
Okay.
But Lama has received direct transmission of that text, so he'll tell us more what it
Sounds
means.
good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting online with you guys. Because I do everything online now. I'm at home. I don't go to the temple much, So online is where
Yeah,
it's at.
Yeah, it's now online time,
Yeah.
You can't avoid.
Yeah,
So we have to take that opportunity.
that's right.
Yeah. I used to don't think much about since COVID happened,
Yeah.
I've been kind of very much in the online. And then one way is I had my own time. I have a lot of time for my practice time. I don't have to go somewhere. Yeah, this text it has to be really like special here. Like all of you have been like 30, 40 years in the practice, of the Dharma and study, teach. So we have to have some kind of a dialogue. Put the one text out, and then everybody can share it. Everybody has their own thought about it, so how to bring into the practice. So I had this 37, and I had also 7-point mind training within the Wonder Wheel Center. Each, what do you call the slogan? No. Slogan? No. each person gets one slogan. It's written down. You take that. You don't know which one you get, but you have to analyze it now. Then you can share after. Then you have to meditate, think about what this really means to you. You know what this means according to the text, whatever. You know, the writers there.
There's a commentary on that text by John Control.
Right.
It's the only one I've ever seen on the supplements of mind training. And it's translated by somebody in Canada whose name escapes me right now. So, at the Great Path to Enlightenment, I think that's the title of the text.
Mhm.
There's another one by David Jay.
Okay, I'm sure there's more than one. So we might know.
Those two are great ones. And there's a newer one called Power of Mind by Kentro Libertad and Achi. Those are like three I know.
My favorite mind training point is drive all blame into one. Because when
Oh,
I was younger, I used to blame society and blame my parents, blame everybody, you know, and I was miserable. And I said, it's now I just drive all the blame into myself and I feel fine. you know?
Into your ego cleaning, not yourself.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
You don't blame yourself, you blame.
Lynn doesn't
I
believe
just
in
blame my
blame,
ignorance or something.
blaming oneself,
It's-
blaming other people.
It's,
He doesn't
I
believe
have
in
problems
blaming.
because of my egotism. That's what it's
that's a hard one.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's
When
where you
possible,
try
drop
to
the
blame.
blame.
Mhm.
But so yeah, all
I
my
made,
suffering is due to my
caffeine
confusion.
free.
Mm.
37 practice. I also read this. Tanguru Muja has
Do you need help?
I wouldn't be surprised that it
Yes.
does, but I don't think I've ever
that.
read it.
Oh, Tanguru Muja has one.
He's
I read
got-
one very detailed. I like
yeah,
that
well,
too.
yeah, well, everything I've read by Dranko Rinpoche is very good.
He's good, yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure it's a very.
I enjoyed that too. That text. His way he explained some level. I sometimes kind of teachings are always good. Sometimes individual has some not. I don't get it clear, you know, but sometimes sometimes it happens that way. So I found his interesting. He put the word down, you know. Of course, Tingu Chenze has one. I read it, but I'm not.
What is Dopo Kensa Yangtze doing these days? Is he an adult yet?
Oh, he is. He's in now what 30s?
Maybe 30-ish.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I thought he was like 12 or something.
Okay, now we'll take some time for break here, right? Sure.
Sure. You want to take a long break or short break?
Oh yeah.
Come back at 4 o'clock?
We'll corporate board club.
Take a half-hour break?
Yes, please.
Right, so,
Who's that Tribble?
am I?
Zoom recording it. AR and P, whatever that is. With that.
So now what we do? Practice Achi.
Well, does anybody have any questions or comments you'd like to make?
I've got a question. What is, could you tell us more about the Achi sisters? I know their names.
The 5 Syringma sisters?
No, the Achi sisters.
Talking about the 5 and the Yidam and no.
Hold on, I can answer it.
With the parents, sister.
Yeah, she's got 4 sisters.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. Okay, so the Achi sisters are Domzik Kondro, who is the Dakini of commitments. I'm sorry, wrong one. Okay, yeah. Domzik Kondro, Dakini of commitment, White Dakini of Samaya Tara. Those are all names for one of the Achi sisters. There's Wandi Kondro, also known as Dakini of power, powerful red Dakini, magnetizing goddess. There's Yeshi Kondro, also known as Dakini of primordial awareness, yellow Dakini of primordial awareness, wisdom Tara. And then Shaza Kondro, Dakini of activity, blue flesh-eating Dakini, flesh-eating karma Dakini. Those are names from various practices in deity yoga. But I just thought of when you were talking about Samaya, and the wisdom beings and Samaya beings, some of these Achi sisters have names that line up with Samaya and wisdom. I don't know anything.
I don't know. Tamche Kando, Wange Kando, Neja Kando, Yishi Kando. All the Dakin is there.
Okay. Thanks. I got to try.
Can I say something? The Syringma sisters, the 5 Syringma sisters, were transformed by Milarepa, who came slightly before Achi, and they were like sirens, of the Himalayas, of the mountains, and they had, they confused people that were on treks and things like that, and people who were seeking and so on. They had ways of manifesting in trouble for their minds and so on. And Milarepa was able to transform them, and they became Dharma protectors, and they became part of the retinue of Achichoki Joma.
The Sarigama sisters or retinue? Okay.
In
the Tonkas, I've seen it. Yeah.
Yes. So their names are delineated here, and then talks what they talk about. Like one is called the auspicious mistress of long life. Another one is called immovable noble mind. Another one is called fair blue-faced one. And the next one is called the white-clothed good-going one. And the 5th one is called the fair-voiced crown wearer. So when Lama was talking earlier, he was talking about those sisters and talking about those kind of names that they had and so on. So there's more detail to it, but I think maybe that's what you're referring to.
No, I'm definitely talking about the 4 sisters of Achi, separate from the 5 Sarigama sisters. I'm absolutely clear about that.
Okay.
I just don't know anything about it.
You use Google?
I need to use it now.
Huh?
I'm tired. I'm ready for Google Guru.
You gotta go to Guru. We Google Chrome. Not Chrome, but Gemini.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. That's my next step. We'll go searching for the Google Guru.
I haven't been too successful with the artificial intelligence as far as
Dharma,
looking up obscure points.
Dharma is misrepresented drastically on AI.
Yeah, anything which is really requires really specialized knowledge. The trouble is it's drawing on what's out there, and there's as much misinformation as there is correct information about a lot of things. About the more popular stuff now, but some obscure subjects you're not going to find good information. But I'm not saying it can't happen, but you have to try.
20 years from now, it'll probably be.
Achi's sisters? I doubt it.
No, I mean 20 years from now, the AI will probably be on the spot with.
Well, I have no idea.
Everything.
The question is, how good can it get? And it's not clear to me. I've always been an AI skeptic. We'll have to see. Just my opinion.
Well, you would know, Bernie.
No, I wouldn't.
You're a
Actually, it's not
programmer.
yeah, I'm a programmer, but that means people think I can fix their printer when it gets jammed. And that's how it works. That's not how it works. No, I can't fix your printer.
I need more sledgehammer.
No, that's one way of fixing it.
Fix it for good.
But then whatever, whoever they puts there, I don't know that where they get information, It's very, as a Prime Minister says, sometimes could be really good information possible. Sometimes maybe, I don't know where their resources are, where they're coming, where they get that information. I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, because I'm thinking at one time, like Encyclopedia Britannica made sure that the information was correct. And I'm sure they had different sources go kind of check, but I don't think that exists anymore where the information is being
Yeah, generally when I've looked for
reputable.
Dharma subjects, it takes me to some Chinese encyclopedia of Dharma terms. And it's fairly good, but it doesn't have, it's missing a lot of stuff.
There's something called Wiki, which has.
That too, you get down to that as an alternative to the Chinese encyclopedia. And their information is better, but it's incomplete.
I feel great satisfaction. I did Gemini Google for Achi Droma sisters, and it completely doesn't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I mean, that's a success.
not a great surprise, really.
Smarter than a fifth grade.
Well, ask the question another way. Say, did Achichoki Droma have sisters? Or have siblings?
I'm gonna do deep research.
And they actually charge money.
Well, does anybody else have another comment or question? Well,
I'm gonna go somewhere.
So, let's see. Okay.
well, how do you think that Achi helps you?
Protective practices.
I feel more safe and protected because I do the mantra every day and I do the practice period, at least once or twice a month. And I feel like safer, like when I go out, I feel like Achi's protecting me, gives me confidence.
I know that Garchin Rinpoche always told his students that if they have problems to do the green Tara practice, I don't want to set them up as rivals or anything, but what would be the benefit of doing one practice versus the other? Is there a difference between asking green tar to resolve a problem and praying to Achi instead?
Achi's an emanation of Tara and Vajrayogini both.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true.
It's kind of, they're related.
So would there be a difference in doing the two practices, or should one be preferred to another in one situation or another?
I think whatever one you're doing, you should do that one a lot and really get deep into it.
So I'm just thinking because I've never heard Garchin Rinpoche, well, I'm sure he did, but I never heard him talk about Achi. So he does talk about green Tara a lot.
In Chesang Rinpoche's biography, he said that Achi protected him on his travel.
Right, I remember that story about taking him across the crevasse and the snowfield to lead Tibet.
Well, how do you think that happens?
How do you think that happened?
How do you think that protection actually manifests?
You mean in the general sense or in that particular story?
Well, in any sense, in any situation. Do you think it's like an energy that comes from beyond and comes and protects you, or is it something within yourself that allows you to recognize vulnerabilities and be able to anticipate issues and work around those issues?
I think that I don't believe in a material world. Like if there's a material world, it's like how could Achi help, right? It's a dream. I'm dreaming Curtis is touching my shoulder. Seriously, I don't believe in a material world. I think it's a projection of mind, and it's based on karma. and that it's like a rainbow, really, and it just seems like a material world. That's the way it seems to me, you know. And so Ashi helping really means that her, you know, her wisdom, like she's a fully realized being, whereas I'm not. And she's not separate from my mind, but I don't have her realization. That's how I see it.
So he's talking here about Torah and Achi. I mean, maybe it doesn't make any difference. You just pray to whichever one you feel the closer connection to. It has to do. It's very much an individual thing. Maybe that's the case.
Yeah, I just wanted you to see.
Yeah, he was talking about Achi.
Garshan gave a Achi empowerment at Trikun Surya Center
Okay.
years ago.
How do you look
He
that
said he
stuff
would
up
do
in the notebook? Is it like,
because I'd gone through it and I just was leafing through it earlier before break and saw that. So
wow, that's interesting.
Martians there giving us August 13th and 14th of 2015, which would have been right after His Holiness did that like 4-day retreat.
Yeah, they're out in it.
And,
Right.
now,
Lama Gursam, you have something you want to say?
Well, yeah, that Achi, I think that's the individual how some are more familiar with the Tara and connected with the Tara, and then praise to the Taras, you know, it much more help. And some are more close to the as Achi practice, and then they do practice and more asking to that Achi, you know. I think it's a, but the historic, I mean, the manifestation is from the Tara, there's nothing much, you know. But the individuals, how they closer or not, more trust or more, I think it's about their own karmic, what I call the karmic relation, or, you know, like for my case is both, you know, Tara has been practicing and actually also I already taught these sort of things. I feel like more practice actually Tara both, you know, if I have time. So I think yeah, I think that's it's nothing for me. It's nothing about the Achi or Tara herself. It's about the practitioner like us, how we are close to them and more practice it, more familiarizing about it, the energies. I think that's what they go with that. Like the same thing as a Dharma protector. There's a many Dharma protector in Tibetan Buddhist tradition, and then I'm not connected with any other Dharma protectors. I can't remember.
You said you did Mahakala practice as well.
Right, but not the other ones. You know, the Kama Mahakala I do, and the other practitioner I quite a bit hard to relate it with them. You know, the Mahakalas, the Archis, and then the Five Sisters, and those are actually in the Archi practice too. You know, it's everything included, particular, you know, certain practices. Yes.
Well, I can say that back in like 2013, 2014, I was kind of feeling like I was in between Dharma centers. I was in between even the lineage and questioning and thinking about, you know, I wanted to be part of something and but I didn't know what. Nothing was presenting itself and so on. And I've been through a few other experiences and so on. And I started doing Achi practice almost every day here at home. And then I met some other people who were doing the same thing, who were sort of having a similar experience where they'd been through different Dharma centers or whatever and were lacking direction and were looking for that. They were looking for, some stability and we all came together. I discovered them, they discovered me. And it became Dharma Surya Center. That they were much more dynamic, much more invested in the process and everything. But it became something that and I said many times that it was Achi that brought us together. But as Lama La just said, it's in the practitioner to recognize the opportunity, to recognize the difficulty that you're trying to resolve, and to recognize the opportunity to resolve that. What is that opportunity? For me, I said, I'm looking for the purest teacher I can find, the purest example of what I would consider to be a bodhisattva. And the answer I came up with was Garchen Rinpoche. So, wanting to align myself with a group that felt the same way, that had the same thought, and wanted to kind of create some kind of a organization that became an emanation of that, if you will. Again, that was Dharma Surya Center.
Well, I'll tell a story. I think I told this story before, just to inspire people. I was working at the Space Telescope, and I didn't get along with my boss there, and they laid me off. If you remember that.
Yeah, I remember.
And so I told Lama Purbatashi in Annapolis about that, and he said, "Okay, I'll say some prayers for you, and I'll do the green Tara practice for you," is what he said. And he said, after doing it, practice for a weekend, you're going to get your old job back. I said, Lama, you don't know how things work in America. When you're laid off from a job, you never get your old job back. So, but then I stopped and thought about it, and I said, well, when I was there, I had a previous boss. I was in the computer branch at that time, but I had come out of the scientific software branch. Maybe I should talk to Perry Greenfield again and see if he has any job openings. And I did, and I did get my job back.
And check out his name, Greenfield, like green tar.
That's just a coincidence. And that's why I gave a very nice donation to the center at DDSC, and my statue is down there because that was part of my severance pay that I gave to them because I didn't need it anymore. And I could, that's why I donated it to DDSC, and I have one of those Buddha statues in the front of the shrine of it. So,
Sure.
So anyway, I also, that's just in case people have doubts that this stuff works. I never in the 1,000 years thought I would get my job back, but I did. So that's how it happened. So,
Is that the Lama in Annapolis?
yeah, he's the Lama in Annapolis.
He kind of a lot of bigger things.
He's got a center in Indonesia. He's got a lot of Chinese students in Indonesia. I don't know if that's a bigger thing. Probably more people because there are more Chinese in Jakarta than there are Buddhists in Annapolis. So,
Figured you were talking about him. My friend Alan Flanders was connected with him.
So this stuff does work, and for that reason, I have no doubts about green tar's ability to help people if they're called upon. Because he was doing the presence, he's a lot more accomplished than I am, but still. So it's kind of a silly story, but I thought I'd tell it.
You remember that question?
Yeah.
When we were wandering around one day, went to that unusual mosque.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
The mosque, west.
Ahmadi.
I can't remember, but they were they're not really mainstream Muslim because they believe that their imam was, the comes in some way. Anyway, they were really nice people there. And for fun at one point, I said, well, where are your pictures of people? Maybe I said, where are your pictures of the gods or something? And they just laughed and they said, uh, we don't have any. We believe in real God, real beings. It was a perfect rejoinder, slamming the idea that all you got is imaginary deities.
Right.
Ours are real. We're real human beings, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the gist of it. I always liked that. It went to the point of how real does a saint have to be to be able to call one?
Yeah. I mean, I think they're Achi and Tara realized beings. To me, they're more real than me. I was saying that yesterday. Like my view of myself, my body, my life, I feel like the deities, like wisdom is more real, more accurate, more true than what I perceive about my life.
Think about your question, Lance. I see so many parallels between Achi and Mary. Just similar iconography. They both descend to heaven. They both are these mothers of, great beings. And so much gets built up around them. They both were probably just peasant girls and had special qualities, but I'm sure there's a whole mythology built up around both of them that was created. But somehow it's real. It's more real than the person that it all got built upon.
What makes it real?
I guess that's a question of what is real, and I'm just thinking more along the lines of, these energies we're talking about, these archetypes, are more real than the material world.
I think that's a key point. Talking about the energy, talking about that space, whatever words we use for it, it's quite abstract to us, but yet we have a sensibility about it. We have an experience with it. And so and that's that we're tapping into. And through these anthropomorphications of these energies, we're channeling our concentration into that. And we're purifying ourselves to recognize the obstacles that block it and the things that release those obstacles and so on. So it works through us. We're the ones making those kinds of decisions, the choices, how to lead our lives and so on, but we're being inspired by this energy that we're just all part of. And it's
Shensang Rinpoche didn't know about the crevasse. Like he couldn't say, okay, I'm deciding to go around this crevasse or that crevasse. He relied on Achi to guide him. She appeared and guided him through the crevasse field,
They say different people's channels behave differently, and that some people experience practice the days in different ways. Some people have lots of meditative experiences, and maybe they say they see beings or hear beings or different things. Some people have no yum, and that's not necessarily to say that some people are. It's not better or worse, but just different. We are just different beings in the way we relate to things. So it might be that we each relate to and manifest according to our own karmic habitual tendencies.
Sounds good.
Isn't it something like, early in my, readings of Buddhism and so on, and trying to understand Shakyamuni Buddha and what the motivations for Shakyamuni Buddha were and so on like that. And after he attained enlightenment and conversation that he would have, does he believe in a supreme being? Is he a supreme being? And the answer that I've read or heard was that I don't know. I'm not saying there is. I'm not saying there isn't, but I don't know. But the point is, I can live as a supreme being. I can be a pure being if I direct myself in a pure way, in a virtuous way, to live a virtuous life for the benefit of others. And that puts me on that path. And things start happening when I do that. You could also say, well, if you don't do that, you start doing bad things, some things start happening bad for you too. Things turn bad and you wind up in prison. You're always looking over your shoulder. The police are after you. Things start happening. So it's where you manifest your energy, where you concentrate your energy. And that's what I think we're learning to do, is to control our energy. We do it through our mind. Our mind is the object that confuses us. All the stuff that happens in the mind. And so we need to be able to see the realization of the virtue of having the mind and developing that one-pointed mindfulness that leads us to that point of not knowing, trusting, and leaping over, cutting through, and finding success there, finding what we might call success, liberation, enlightenment, all the different names we have for it. Does that make sense? Have you heard that? I mean, in terms of the Buddha saying, I don't know about, there being a supreme being, but it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be the best human being I can.
There's that list of questions which he refused to answer. I don't recall God, the question of the supreme being being one of those questions.
Yeah, that's one of the questions, I think.
Is it really?
I think
Is
so,
that
yeah.
whether the universe is infinite or not?
Yeah.
I think we saw that in the Lalita Vistara.
I don't think he was saying he didn't know, though. I think he was just saying he's not going to answer.
He said these questions are not conducive to enlightenment. They're just like mind chatter. And well, different teachers have said that as well. People get hung up on intellectual concepts. If you're a practitioner, the important thing is to practice and not to get hung up on intellectual ideas. And I say that as somebody who probably gets more hung up on intellectual ideas than most people. So yeah, it's and that's one thing that Trungpa Rinpoche said once, and always used to irritate the hell out of me until I realized he was correct. He said, "Lawyer's mind will never attain enlightenment." So he means the kind of conceptualized mind.
Logicians, I've read it as logicians.
Yeah.
Those who depend solely on logic.
Yeah, but his phrase was lawyer's mind. So,
I was reading that Achi book a little bit. It's lots of stories about people that we held in high esteem. Chechen Rinpoche, Karchen Rinpoche, lots of these other lamas. They're just eminent people. And you get stuck in, is Achi real or not? The question is Achi real or not just falls apart when you hear all these experiences. It's like, well, there's something real going on here, because look at these things people experience. And you can't argue with that. Somehow you have to accept the validity of their experience, even if you don't accept it literally. Exactly. Because it's their experience. And they're talking about these miraculous things. So that's the foundation of my Achi is real sort of belief. It's real enough for a lot of people. I have to acknowledge their experience. I may not understand. I can think of all sorts of questions I don't understand, but it's real enough. I mean, the other alternative would be say, all these great saints are really fantasizing this stuff. It's not it would be to diminish their experience in a way that's just preposterous.
Well, maybe another word for fantasizing might be interpreting. They're having an experience and they're putting it in terms of a magical experience or, a fantasy experience or something, but it's their interpretation of it, the way in which they're using the words to try and rationalize it to themselves and to other people. It's really an intellectual process.
Pretty powerful. It works for
And why not? Why should we question it or doubt it?
them. And then the question is, well, if that interpretation, that way of verbalizing that leads to these incredible experiences is real, are real experiences, what does it questions it brings a question the concept, it brings a question about what is real. In other words, it just, you can't come at it logically anymore, because it's clearly that's the logic comes at it. Rational skepticism clearly is starting at is a starting point. There's too much unbelieving. I don't know if that's
Sometimes skepticism is prejudging something and it's saying it's false, which itself is skeptical.
There's something that can be quite wonderful, I think, when a friend of mine used the term "the bottom falls out of the bucket." I have this like house of cards upon which our concepts are sitting, and if we can kind of allow that kind of house of cards to fall down and just like anything whatsoever can happen, right? Then it's no longer about the logic, as you're talking about the logician, but just experience.
Be open.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. And then of course the teachers will tell us to be careful not to cling to experience, because then we just want to get that experience again, which is another form of grasping, which is just redefined. Wow, but yeah, experience built upon experience eventually the spiritual leads to realization. Let's keep going.
So as we develop our practice and we go through the stages of the meditation, which most of which is concentration, it's a process of elimination. Oh, it's not this. Oh, it's not that. Oh, it's not this. Oh, it's not that, and so on. We're pulling those things out of our bag, so to speak, and we're finally left with an exhaustion of that process. And that's when the meditation happens. All that before it comes is all intellectual contemplation and investigation. And when we get to the point of the exhaustion, then there's that crossing over into that which makes absolutely no sense to the rational mind. And what do we do with that? How do we qualify that experience? Then becomes whether we remain in that state or we start telling people about it. We start articulating it. We start giving it its magical powers and stuff like that, rather than saying, wow, I just feel great. And I feel great about everybody. And just being that virtuous form of enjoyment, of bodhicitta, the wisdom, the loving kindness, the wisdom, the compassion is what takes us there. We arrive at the joy, and then we just manifest equanimity, the bodhicitta. And how long can we stabilize and sustain that?
I have a question. So, in my daily Chen Raising practice, a change that is like happened over the last several months is that I'm better able to focus on the light going to the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas that's coming off the Om Mani Padme Hum. So there's light going out. And then the text says about the light returning from the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And then the light going out again, imagining all the beings becoming Chenrezig. And then everything dissolves in the light again, dissolves into me. Is all that thinking about light, is that training to understand emptiness? Because in some ways that the form of light doesn't have form because it's light. And am I being tricked into learning what emptiness is about by, I'm using the word trick.
Well,
But is
think of the
that-
light. Think of the light as a higher language form. But it's a different language. You're using English to explain all this. But can you find, symbolism, parallels with using light, using the 5 Buddha families that each has a pure light to it, right? And use that to be able to explain what it is that you're trying to do to yourself, and to recognize those things as light. And light, as you say, is a form, but that becomes a pure concentration of energy to be able to get to that point where you cross over.
I mean, it's just that there's a whole lot more light in my life. I mean, I'm dealing with it, in the different forms and trying to understand it and use the text for what it says, and, all those different segments of it. I just want, because just that's my daily practice. But I've also been reading books where I'm encountering emptiness. And I just kind of made that leap that, light is to some extent empty. So is it a form of training for me to understand emptiness, to make it somehow easier for me to get to understanding the nature of emptiness?
What do you think?
I'm hoping it is. I'm thinking it should be, but by the same token, if it's not, then I might as well not dilute myself into thinking, well, this is where I'm headed.
Well, I do the same practice of Chenrezig. I always thought of the light as compassion going out to all beings and receiving compassion and love in return from all the Buddhas. I'm not saying that's correct. That's just the way I always envisioned it.
Yeah, but to me, light is the vehicle
Right.
that the compassion rides on.
It's the dump
I'll
truck.
say.
It's a dump
Yeah.
truck of compassion.
Yeah.
I do the Vajrasattva practice. That also involves the light going out and back and so forth.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like there's a feeling that goes with seeing that light and visualizing and experiencing it. It's a feeling that I don't usually have. It's like a
Yeah.
opening and freeing feeling, and like that.
Well, what's Lama's opinion? What's to his opinion?
Well, when we do a meditation like a generation stage with the compassion, and we visualizing as a light, form of light with a compassion, I think that's right to do. The essence of the generation stage is the meditating about the very subtle form. It's talking about the subtle form of with the compassion, the true nature of the light. But the nature of the light, but it has a completely form, forearm, jewels, malas, lotus. That's a Milarepa says. When generation stage really meditate about the light, has to be rainbow body, That is the one way. to understanding about the subtle light. And then, as you mentioned there, it also helps to understanding mind doesn't stuck into the material form. Mind is go rather than beyond the material form, going to the really subtle level there, training mind as well. And then of course it also helps to understand, as you say, emptiness, that will maybe also very possible.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's not a form of training, that's one of the gems of doing meditation, is because you familiarize yourself with light versus concrete form. That just helps you get to understand the more subtle theories.
Right. One thing is very important for me. I remember a long time. I don't know. Ondu Rinpoche said one time this practice, I think it's maybe with the compassion practice. It remains me a long time actually. I try to understand that, what that really means. Buddha compassion form is just a manifestation of Buddha compassion. Whatever form, 2 arm, 4 arm, whatever holding. That is wonderful to visualize the point of view. It's visualizing, there's no doubt. It's very meaningful to visualize it, light and so forth. But the actual Buddha compassion form is compassion itself. To the same times when we visualize, at the same time we have to have a really compassionate thoughts, not just form visualizing somewhere there, From the heart and the mind has to be experience of compassion, which is really feel inside, wishing all the free from sufferings and the causes of sufferings and the pain, wish them completely free, wish them to be happy, peace. I think that goes together. Then that poem is become a really powerful form of the light of the compassion form, much more effective. So that's a really, I thought, interesting, put that way, So sometimes we are focused into the form. We just Vajrayana practice, the training. They have a great method, skillful way. It's wonderful. But rather than form is important, at the same times in the heart and mind, developing kind of compassion thought does not miss that part. Have that kind of feelings, maintaining the same times with that form of compassion, meditation. And I thought that's that for me at that time strong kind of hit it in my mind somewhere, I thought that's there should be, So since then I will try to meditate compassion or whatever, try to really, even though relative truth of compassion, I can practice that relative truth of compassion, Relative truth compassion means I have to generating compassion thought, and compassion actions, whatever it is, for the 6 parameters, right? The actions of compassion, the relative thoughts of compassion. Of course, the relative thought is actually the ultimate thought, there's no separable. which thought I develop compassion, and then I investigate more looking nature state that is not inherently exists itself. Let it go, and deep inside meditation, resting nature state, I think that's where maybe, I don't know, that will help you a little bit, help some,
Oh, yeah.
since you are working for compassion.
Right, because I
Go back to
understand
say-
in the text they
yeah.
talk about, the compassion, but I haven't developed that yet where, where I understand how, say, like Avalokiteshvara, is looking with the eyes of compassion and, really sad for all the things that humans and other beings do that
Right.
complicate their lives. So, yeah, it's
Yeah, what I mean is these different stages of meditation, the practice point of view, these all are really important for whatever form of, whatever in the text mentioned, this all the stages of meditation, the practices, the visualizations, the mantras. I think all that requires, until we really reach in a subtle, deeper level. But that is also sometimes the challenge part is sometimes we just stuck there. Just the thought, oh, that is the only way here. No, that's not the way. There's a much more deeper understanding about it. Deeper has much more experience. There are much more deeper the meaning of that, the visualization, the generation stage of meditation or whatever the deity yoga practices. That is very important. Like Ali, I said at one point, I don't know. I said when we practice of let's say Buddha compassion, then Buddha compassion is not alone Buddha compassion. Buddha compassion is your deity. Buddha compassion is your root master. Buddha compassion is your Dharma protector, inseparable of the Achi. That is supposed to understanding. Buddha compassion practice is your real Mahamudra practice. Inside meditation, it's not separate. That is we have to know. So that's I see it. I think so. My limited understanding, deeper insight meditation practice time. Whatever deity practice, I do this Mahakala and Achi. I'm not thinking about. I used to think Mahakala is somewhere on the forearm and the two arms, and I do that. I've been there, but the reality is not. Reality and Mahakala is manifestation of Chakasamvara, inseparable nature of the Vajrayogini. That represents of the Chakasamvara. Mahakala is including all the deities is there. That is I'm supposed to be. That Mahakala is inseparable of the Guru, the lineage masters. That Mahakala is inseparable of the Dharma protector himself or the Dharma protectors as well, Whatever Dharma protector I recite in the prayer, all in one to meditation. That is, I think, is as far as if I'm not wrong practices, that's what I think is what kind of, one way of practices, And there is also, we have separable practice of separation, right? Without the Mahakala, Achi, we sit inside meditation, Vipassana, or whatever we call, come abiding meditation. That is also wonderful to do, That's all. Well, so that's why I like to say, now it's almost 5. I would like to, first I have to say this blessing for statues, okay? So then we'll do the dedication together. That's okay, everybody?
We do the dedication first or the blessing?
Oh, I have to do blessing first.
Okay.
Short, I won't take. You guys do meditation, okay? A minute. I will do this blessing of Achi. Sanji Chido Soji Chandala Janjo Wada Dani Jado Jadani Jibu Jibu Sana Jandola Raja Sanji Nangwada Sunji Tanji Dewa Dewa Jita Debrachi Dawada Dawa Jita Dawa Jita Dawa Meme Dawa Dawa Dambira Wa Jita Jita Shada Jita Dawa Tani Chempola Yuni Do Nevra Choa Jana Yuba Sanji Da Chanjo Seba Bawa Da Bama Nanja Makandu Nanja Daja Lagundu So Daja Yuba Jimu Oh, the more than one hundred of them, just in Namata, the number never Salamaya, about the Javan, the temper you to sit on the ten, the legend of when you wish. Never much about the temperature, so temperature, so my the Baba headed the Nanga, the higher was digging the down by the Martian, and so I heard my head above. At the end of the higher was digging the end of the Martian, and so I heard my head above. But the Mashamana so didn't have so seven minutes. I'm going to do the book. I'm going to do the 7 minutes. Number one, upper the beer, the Madaganga, something of some making a man, a Paravan is all one of the windows or the Menda is over. The Jolaboya Tashi and not to just get a show that I never told you. Java goes on to Jetayi show, and then you move the and the never going on the top of the Bonjour, some jet in the show. What is the blessing of the statue or stupa or whatever? Actually, this is a Samaya being, right? Here, the Samaya being. Then actual wisdom being invoking as a prayer. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas or wisdom beings invoking and dissolving into the Samaya being, including these statues and there, and then say the mantras, and then the dedication prayer, and they say that's supposed to be. And those who are great, really being some realizing being, they don't need you to say, they say. They just look at the meditate, they just, everything naturally dissolves in there. So then this statue is no longer only statue, something material. It's a real energy within in this to dissolve into the statue, you know. I just said prior, right? Okay, thank you again, everybody, so much. Let's dedication prayer.
Do the dedication.
Yep. Then everybody has to go, and I have to finish my makala too. I haven't done it. Achi. I have to do.
So if we can, at the bottom of page 28 and the top of page 29, we can recite this aspiration for bodhicitta. Then we go to next page 30 and 31 and recite the dedication prayer by Lord Chikam Sumgam. So in particular, this melody, if we can recite that 3 times in the melody that I've learned from Lama Gursam, that we recite this. Sangju Samcho Rinpoche Ma Che Banam Che Je Banam Pa Ne Pa Non Ne Gondu Sho Shang Chu Shen Cho Rinpoche Ma Che Pa Na Che Yo Je Pa Na Pa Ne Pa Ya On Ne Kon Du Ka Wa Sho Shang Chu Shen Cho Rinpoche Ma Che Pa Na Che Yo Je Pa Nam Pa Me Pa Ya On Ne
bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind. Where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind root and lineage lamas, divine assembly of yidams and assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Yogins, Yoginis, and Dakinis, dwelling in the 10 directions, please hear my prayer. May the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself and all sentient beings, samsara and nirvana, and the innate word of virtue, not result in the 8 worldly concerns, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Sravaka or Pratyeka Buddha. May all mothers, sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstructors who harm, misleading Mars and the hordes of demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the afflictions of desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May attachment to fame, reputation, wealth, honor, and concern for this life not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinity of space. May I gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and the pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I in any case gain the supreme attainment of Mahamudra at the time of death or in the bardo. Om. 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 May my body, speech, and mind become inseparable with the body, speech, and mind of all the enlightened ones for the benefit of all sentient beings. Thank you all very, very much.
Thanks for coming, Lama Gursam. Katie.
Please, 1 minute.
Thank you, everyone. Really good to see you all.
Yes.
Hope again see you. So next year, hopefully.
Oh, good,
Yeah.
good, good.
Now, then I have 6 months long retreat after. I was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's some more text, it's okay.
Those two. Oh, thank you, David. That was good to see you. Please, thank you so very much. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Speaking from the camera. Not a very.
Take care.
This thing's
So hello
still
to
running.
Campbell and
I don't
everyone
know.
there.
Yeah, it's
What's
like
that?
Tension.
Okay.
Are you
So
going to
how
see
about
it?
most famous
Yeah, I'm gonna see
puzzle?
mine in 3
Yeah.
nights. I don't know
Okay.
how much longer.
Right.
He never says how.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah.
Let me turn the recording off.
Yeah, it's thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sinjo Rambuja, Majiban, Thank you. Please take care and I have sex again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, I'll see you on the internet.
Yeah, sometimes internet, yes, yes, very
Thank you
nice.
very much, Lama
Oh, thank you,
Gursam.
Lance,
On
always.
behalf of the
people
$20
from
a
Zoom.
minute.
Yeah.
People here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming,
Thank you.
bringing your teachings and
sure
bringing
it's-
Kate with
Yeah,
you.
right.
Meeting her is
Yes.
wonderful. Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Thank you again, really so much always. Thank you, thank you very much.
Always travel.
Tonight is using
That's a good idea. Forgot to bring, I was thinking of it last night.
My Dharma brother.
Thank you always. Yes,
Yes.
yes. Really take care and keep in touch. Yeah, yeah. Okay, yeah. Oh yeah. I just enjoyed it. Oh, thank